Oh, I don't know if I'm like actually equipped to talk about this at this time because, what I may say. Yes, I did. I did YMP. You tagged me, and there was a few other people that emailed me about it. Um, I I just don't know how real like y'all want me to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because I told the line on being real. And yes, thank you so much, YMP. I told a line on being real, but also being respectful of, victims of violence and stuff like that, especially black women. But like looking at the live streams, gave me, a different perspective, than just hearing the story. Also reading, her posts that she had on Facebook, you know, um, yeah, it's like, not trying to be funny and not trying to be like, I guess, judgmental or classist or whatever. But I see so many black women getting with these low class, ghetto, bum men that are broke, don't have any money, don't have any education, been to jail, been to prison, been locked up, ain't no good, gold's all in their mouth, just looking like a straight, ignorant, violent pookie, and then being surprised when those men are exactly what they represent themselves to be. I just personally don't understand how you can even be attracted to men like that. He's over there in the videos cooking, smoking a black and mild, looking as ghetto as he ever could, looking like he would be right outside your local 7-Eleven, you know, loitering. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what about those type of men like turn you on? Like what would make you say, yeah, that's gonna be my husband, I'm gonna marry him, I'm gonna have kids with him, and then be surprised when he's whooping up on you? I mean, everything about a man like that screams that that's exactly what's gonna happen to you. And I think that we need to get to a deeper understanding of why black women are making the choices that they're making. And I think a lot of it is actually internalized self-hatred that black women have. Also, I think a lot of black women feel as if they don't deserve more. And if they require more, that they'll be alone. And that, they listen to the things that these men say about, unaliving alone and all of that other stuff. And that's not something that you should listen to as a black woman. Because what's the difference in being alone and being single and being by yourself and having peace than having somebody around that is literally causing chaos to your life and is a threat to your very existence? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's exactly why I say that black women should not give black men any grace. None. Or men in general either. If he's been to jail, if he's broke, if he's a loser, don't trust him. And honestly, I think that this is something that we also need to talk about, is that the majority of men, the majority of black men that have been in prison or been in jail have engaged in some type of G activity. And half of the times when they come out, those desires that they have, nurtured while they were in prison, they still have a hankering for those things. So a lot of those men that come out are on the DL, period. So I feel like entertaining a man that's been to jail or anything like that is already a wrong move for so many reasons. The trauma that they possess, the more than likely DL activity that they've been involved in, in prison and that they will be involved in behind your back when they get out. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Let me block this person, air fryer. Yeah. So I really think that, these are things that we really need to talk about. So black women really need to, I say one of the number one ways to prevent a lot of these things is not the number one way, but a big portion is to never entertain a man that has been to prison or to jail. And I don't think you should even entertain a black man that's been arrested unless it was for speeding tickets or parking tickets. Other than that, no. No, don't do it. A1, you had something to say?
I mean, yeah, first, I believe that I don't really understand how you can make all those assertions when one, you're not even a man, right?
What assertions? What are you
Uh,
talking about?
two, you sitting
What
here
are
talking
you talking
about,
about? What
uh,
assertions?
okay, I'm gonna tell them if you let me. One that people, brothers, most men in general, and brothers are violent. Uh,
Nobody
that
said that. Get
women,
off my live. You've been here before. Get
bye,
off. Get
bitch.
off. You did the same thing. Get off of here. Get out of here, you ugly weirdo. Bye. Like, I'm not about to play with you. What type of grown man has a cartoon picture of himself? Like, and you sound like you are 2 steps away from the old folks' home. Get real. You can pretend to be a cartoon character all you want. It's never going to change the fact that you are an old, over the hill Dusty. And every time I have a live, you come in my live trying to get in here. Now I remember you. I remember you once I heard that delayed way that you spoke. You sound like your mama dropped you on the head when you were a newborn. And it damaged some pathways in your brain that affect your communication. Like, stop playing with me. Like, honestly, bro. I don't know what he was talking about, babe. Like, I really don't know. But I know that man has been on here before. I don't know. And he always wants to come up here and he always says, like, I don't agree. I don't agree with the things that you said. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. Like, if you don't agree, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me get back on track. But now I remember him. I won't forget him again. I promise you. I'm a block that man because I really don't know what's wrong with him. I really don't know. Yes, and you know what? Those are the type of, once again, those are also the type of men that you avoid. For real. Like the men that sound like the last book that they read was The Cat in the Hat. Dr. Seuss, those men you got to, because those men are so slow that they will get mad that you actually have critical thinking. So you're over there trying to explain your thought processes and what this, that, and the third, and they trying to beat your brains in because they're mad that they don't understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very disturbing. Like, honestly, like those are men that you've got to avoid because they are so, you know, for lack of a better word, stupid, that they are going to feel intimidated by anything that you say. But by the mere fact that you can actually read the stop signs as you're going to work. You know what I'm saying? That you can read that STOP. Be like, oh my goodness, you can read that? You can read that big red sign that says stop? I'm so mad at you, black woman. You see that sign that says yield? You know what yield means? Oh my goodness. I'm about to hurt you. I know you don't know what yield means. Oh my goodness. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. Just give me like 2 minutes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Uh, okay, you guys. Yeah, so sorry about that, you guys. So my thing is with this Duchess Dior story, and it's not a story because she's a real person that has now lost her life. Um, the thing about it is that I'm seeing so many instances of black women losing their lives. And this is just my opinion. You guys can tell me if you agree or disagree. But I'm seeing so many black women lose their lives in instances that I feel like are actually preventable. You know how you have women that will tell you like, hey, I didn't know that this guy was this type of person. He came out of the blue and things like that. I didn't know. I've been seeing a lot of cases recently to where I don't feel like those women could say that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was very clearly obvious. And I think that there are a lot of, factors where we could try to stop this from happening. Like I think that there's a nice percentage of black women that we've got to help them to understand that criminality, violence, a man being locked up, those are not things that need to be glamorized in black men, but actually those are things that need to be totally discriminated against in a black man if you are still interested in dating or engaging with black men. If a black man has been to prison, no. If a black man has been to jail, no. If a black man has a history of violent behavior, get away. Don't entertain those men at all. Don't go on a date. Don't see what they talking about. Don't accept the dinner, even if you just to say that you bored or you want a meal. None of that. Don't entertain those men, period. You see a black man with gold all in his mouth, the pants all sagging, he's smoking black and mouths and all of this other stuff. Those are not men that you want to entertain because those men are trying to live a lifestyle, and the lifestyle that they're living is also rooted in the degradation and disrespect of the black woman. So you're definitely going to get your head knocked in between the washer and dryer. You're definitely about to get disrespected. You're definitely about to get called out your name. He's definitely about to be cheating on you and mooching off you, and he's not going to work or do anything productive with his time. That's just what it is. And like I said earlier, another thing is that there were rumors that that man was about to be exposed because he was on the DL. Now, dare I say it, I believe that the majority of black men that have been to jail or to prison, you know what I'm saying, with the exception of a man that got some speeding tickets and got out the next day, that, those men have more than likely engaged in G activity. And once I feel like men engage in that, that's not something that they stop doing. They may engage with you too, but they're going to do that. And those men desperately don't want to be exposed. So my opinion is the reason, that's another reason why if a man has been to jail, if a man has been to prison, you do not entertain him at all. I don't care what he told you. I don't care if he told you that the white T man is the white T man's fault. He didn't have any way to go. He was trying to make money for his family. He was just trying to make it out the hood or any of this other insane, stupid reasoning. Do not entertain him. He coming up to you like, hey, shorty, how you doing, baby? You's a bad bee. Like, what are you? No, no. Those are not men that you should entertain. I remember one time I was at a club and this dude came up to me and was like, you the baddest bee. You the baddest bee I ever seen. Can I get your number? I remember looking at that man appalled. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You cannot. Look at how you're approaching me. Look at how you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely not a man that should be entertained. Now, I didn't say all that. I just said no. You know what I'm saying? Because look at you calling me out my name. You don't even know me. He was like, oh, that's a compliment, baby. No, it's not. That's not a compliment. Get away from me, Pookie. And honestly, I really do believe that black women have got to unpack this desire. And of course, not all black women, but the black women that are getting into these situations, you've got to unpack your desire for pookies. And I think that that's like a dirty secret that these black women are not admitting. You like pookies. You like Dusties. You also, and I think another thing is there are a lot of women, and I think E Kane, the celebrity, even not I guess social celebrity, whatever, E Kane is a perfect example. There are a lot of black women that like to entertain Pookies and Dusties because they have control issues and they want to control every single thing that their man does. They don't want the man to have any autonomy so that they can feel like he'll treat them better or whatever. And that is another reason why some women entertain bogus men. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they can control them, but they don't understand that eventually those men are going to rebel as well, even if they don't have, a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You know what I'm saying? And you even if you get with a man that's broke and you feel like you want to control him and keep him in check, it's not always going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And I really want black women to understand you got to stop entertaining women of that nature. I mean, you've got to stop entertaining men of that nature. Period. Just 1 second, you guys. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, y'all said who's a felon? All right, let's start off with Vast. Who? Yeah. What did you have to say?
Oh no, I agree with you what you were saying about those dudes, cause you know what, it's their whole lifestyle is rooted in violence. You know, everybody they deal with is in violence. That all they people is around in violence. You know, I grew up in Miami.
Are you a
You know,
felon?
my family's like from Haiti.
Vast, are you a
No,
felon?
no felonies.
Have you
Hell
ever been to
no,
jail?
no. I've
You've
been to
never
jail
been to
for
jail?
tickets. Yeah, I've been to jail like.
Somebody in the comments said that you're a felon.
Nah, I'm not a felon. I got no felonies. I'm a
You
father
got
of
any
three
misdemeanors?
kids. Now I'm a father of three kids. I take care, I homeschool. I do dreadlocks with my kids and stuff like that. I
You
don't do
have any
none of that.
misdemeanors?
I had a misdemeanor, but that's gone.
Okay, how long were you
Yeah.
in jail when you had the misdemeanor?
Only 28 days.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would definitely say you're included. So,
Oh, me?
once again,
It wasn't for nothing. No, it wasn't for no violence. It was just for traffic tickets. I ain't had to borrow money to get out. But no, I'm not rooted in. I'm not rooted in none of that gang culture. I'm a husband. I'm a family man. I'm divorced. I was divorced. It's 5 years. Got reengaged last year. I take care of my three kids. I homeschool. I do dreads for all three of my kids. I don't get
okay.
child
Well,
support,
we're
BET,
talking
none of that
about black
stuff.
femicide right now and how to avoid it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, but like in our culture, our women tend to go for those type of guys a lot. Like I done seen plenty of women that like
Yeah, I don't care what you're talking about. This isn't that. This isn't for you to, talk about black women. Don't care about your perspective, about that. And I think a lot of times black men talk about like our women go for this, our women go for that. Well, y'all also push that lifestyle out. So I just don't care to talk about it. Earl Cherry, you have something to say?
Well, I didn't want to be redundant, but it is the culture. I mean, that's the easy answer to it.
Yes,
And
and who curated the culture? Who started the culture?
okay,
Who started
regardless,
glamorizing that type of behavior?
even if men started the culture,
No,
right?
no, that's where we're gonna stop. Men started the culture. And my thing is that a lot of times men, y'all want to be called the leaders and all of this other stuff, but then y'all want to put the whole state of the community, things that y'all put in place on women. Gangster rap started in the late 80s, where they started glamorizing criminal behavior, glamorizing black men acting like hoodlums and pookies and no good Negroes, being outside, being violent, acting ignorant, putting it to music, making it seem okay. Brainwashing black women and telling black women that the only thing they had of worth or value was in between their legs. And after the men got that, then they needed to get gone. calling them B's and 304s and Lutz and all of these things, not pouring life into them, and then being surprised after years and years and years and years and years of brainwashing women to view the criminality and the violence of the black man as something to be positive. Now y'all are surprised that there are some women that have drank the Kool-Aid. Before a man could ever tell me about why black women have these desires, you need to go somewhere and talk to men and tell them to stop perpetuating this thing, because we're in 2025 and there are still men perpetuating this exact same thing. Right now, you have black male celebrities that are rappers that are actually on trial for harming, unaliving, putting hits out on people, and a whole host of other things. So you would be better served to talk about that with some men. So you also can take your Charleston White, bald-headed behind elsewhere and talk to the men, because y'all always want to come on a woman's platform and talk about what about the women's, what about the women's, it's the women's fault. It's not. Now, I'm not saying that women are making bad choices, but women also are following the lead of y'all ashes. Y'all been brainwashing them, telling them to accept broke, busted, and disgusted Negroes for decades now. Like, let me block the both of y'all that was in here too. Hold on. You're blocked. Goodbye. You're gone. If I dropped you, that means I don't want to hear you in the comments. And let me get the other dude too. He about to get blocked too. Goodbye. You're gone as well. So anyway, like I blocked both of those guys just so y'all know they're gone. They're both blocked. Because my thing is that the first thing that when we're talking about this is that you open your mouth and you start talking about how black women like it and all this other stuff, but then you refuse to talk about why there are black women that like it, then I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you literally have songs from the 1980s of black men saying, you know, black women ain't but 304s and tricks and all of these other things. You know what I'm saying? And I find that to be actually crazy. Crazy to me. Like, if you want to talk about it, talk about why black men did that in the first place. Talk about why rap existed in the first place. It's not that nobody wants to hear the truth, Mr. Rabbit. It's the fact that talk about men first. You're a man, right? So tell me why men did it. Answer that question. Why did men start gangster rap?
Hey, first off, if you should really do your research.
No, really
Rap,
do and
no,
really
no.
answer my question. You're not gonna talk over me on my stuff. All you're gonna do is get dropped. So answer my question first. Why did black men start gangster rap? You tell me that. Why did they start a genre that has destroyed the black community and is
Let me
responsible for so many black men being in prison? No,
let
I'm
me
gonna
let
let
me
you do that. Answer that
let me
question
talk before
first.
you cut me
No,
off.
no, I don't gotta let you do nothing. So answer that question first. Or you just gonna get dropped and I'm gonna forget you ever existed. So just answer that first question and then you can talk. Why did black men start gangster rap, which has been responsible for many black men and black boys being in prison and also a criminal culture? Tell me why they started doing that. Answer. Thank you. I turned your mic on. Go ahead, sir. Waiting. You there, Mr. Rabbit? You there?
Hey, do yourself a favor. Pick up a book and
Oh, okay,
It's
there
called
you
no.
go.
It's called Hip Hop.
Bye-bye. Nope, I know that's what you thought. And that's so funny is that y'all really feel like y'all gonna talk over me. You're not gonna talk over me. You're not gonna get your voice out. All you gonna do is get blocked. That's it. And I'm about to block you from the chat right now. Have a great day, sir. Bye-bye. You're blocked. Like, y'all cannot answer my questions. And that's the thing. Answer my question. Why did black men start gangster rap? Why did they start something, a whole genre, a whole culture that resulted in so many young black men trying to emulate that and ending up either in the grave or in prison? Why? Tell me why. Before we talk about any of this, answer that question. But y'all can't do it. Because you know what? I understand, because you cannot excuse the inexcusable. You cannot defend the indefensible. I understand that. But that's my thing, is that y'all want to come up here and get ready to minister to women, but y'all don't want to ever take accountability in anything that you've created. The reason why there are black women that love thugs is because y'all spent the last 50 years telling them that it's cute. So let's be real here. Let's be real here. Okay? Anyway, as I was saying, I once a man, if a man wants to come up here, the next man that sends me a request, make sure that you are prepared to answer that question first before you speak. Before you say anything, you're going to answer that question. If you don't answer it, you're not going to get a chance to speak. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Anyway, so let me just keep going forward. So what black women that are getting into these situations like Duchess Dior have got to realize is that a man being a criminal, a man being a gangster, a man, with gold and all in his mouth and pants hanging down, and he's smoking, and Black and Milds and all of this stuff. That's not cute. That's not a good man. And I'll tell you, those men are trying to emulate what they've seen on TV, what they've seen in the media, as far as the worst stereotypes of black men they're trying to pretend to be. And I wish that those black women will understand that men that want to be that stereotype, they automatically don't respect or love or care for black women because that isn't a part of that culture. There is no part of respecting black women. It's just like how so many rap songs back then, even now, talked about you weak if you love a woman. I'll never love a woman. Even when you think about Jay-Z, who everybody likes for whatever reason, I don't know. His song, Big Pimpin', where he says, never love a woman. Never love a woman. And the cut is where he keep them. You know what I'm saying? Until he needs to what? Until he needs to beat it up. And so I really wish that women will really understand that men that are super duper into rap do not respect black women, do not love black women, will beat the brakes off of you because that is what that culture is meant to brainwash black men to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's really just that simple. So you cannot like men that put forth the Pookie persona. Period. You can't. And somebody can say, oh, you know what, you judging him, that he got all golds, no. You should stop. You should. You add the golds, you add the way he's dressed, you add the way he talks. Half of these Negroes haven't even graduated high school, don't even have a GED or a high school diploma or nothing. Also, messing with men that are broke. Because in the live streams that I was seeing with Duchess Dior, he was talking about how he was broke. He didn't have no money. He had to sleep on his friends' couches and he had to come back and be with her. Men that have to rely on you for their very existence, they have to rely on you for a place to stay. They have to rely on you for a car to drive. They have to rely on you for food in their stomach. Those men despise you. They do. They may be too lazy to improve their circumstances in life, but I'll also let you know that, they're also jealous that you're able to provide yourself a stability that they cannot. And they're going to find some way to break you down to make them feel like you're on their level. And normally what happens when they're trying to break you down is emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, and of course, the biggest one, physical abuse. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened with, like I said earlier, E. Kane. E. Kane gets with some dude that's older than her, that's a dusty, that don't work, that don't keep a job. She's paying for everything. She's doing everything for him. He doesn't feel any control in his life. So what does he want to do? To break her down, to say, hey, you're on the same level as me. I want to beat you. I'm going to put my hands on you. I'm going to disrespect you. I'm going to impregnate you multiple times so that you are trapped with all of these children that I'm not really going to do everything that I need to do for. Like, you've got to stop. Really, truthfully. You got to stop. You got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Violence does not equal masculinity. A man grabbing you and yoking you up, that's not masculine. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Tell me why black men started gangster rap.
Well, I can tell you this. My father was a rapper for a long time, and basically what he started was from basically what he grew up around. He didn't have his father in his life. My grandma was the only one to raise him, and even she was barely in his life. So he was really just a product of his environment, really. And it's not even no black men, black women thing. It's just that what you're around and what you see is how you're gonna act when you're older, if that makes sense.
That's not true at all. There are plenty of people that grow up in horrible environments and don't act the way that they grew up around. There are people that have grown up in
True,
the hood,
true,
grown up in
true.
horrible situations. So why is it there is an excuse that your father didn't do that? Why didn't your father say, "Hey, I want to rap about the things that I would like to do. So I want to rap about positivity. I want to rap about getting out. I want to rap about how we can come together as black people and do this, that, and the third." Why does it have to be feeding on negativity?
You see, well, he did do that. He rapped about like he did upholding his community and shit. Like with the money he had from the rap, he gave back to the community. He in his raps, he rapped about upholding black people, this, that, but he also rapped about getting money, gangster shit that he did because that was his life. And
Yes,
like
you got to
also at the
watch your
same
language.
point,
Yeah,
also at the
that's
same
not
point,
good.
my
If you
mother.
rap about gangster stuff, then what you do is you influence other young, impressionable men that are listening to your lyrics to think that it's okay to do the same thing. So it sounds like
Because think about it.
your
Think
dad
about
was
this.
part
Wait,
of the
wait, wait.
problem.
Think about it. If
Yeah,
you're
I'll think about it. It sounds like your dad was part of the problem. Sounds like your dad was part of the problem. Sounds like your dad is the exact type of ashy Negro that we're talking about. It also sounds like it's passed down to you because you also have that delayed hood booger sound that I know has probably been a result of, you bending over and getting back shots from Big Bubba in your prison bunk whenever you were locked up. Maybe you're out, now for a couple years and you'll be back in. So as I was saying, Marie. Yes, there's definitely gonna be judgment, Marie, for sure. And I'm gonna block you because you'll pick me. As I was saying, I really don't want to hear the BS. Oh, this is what he grew up in. This is all he had to rap about. All he had to rap about was violence and criminality, and that's what he did, and we can't help it. Yeah, no. You don't have to rap about that. If that's the case, since y'all say that it's about growing up in the environment that you grow up in, then why are the girl rappers rapping about money and being cute and getting gamed on? Why they not, most of them not rapping about what y'all rap about? Because it's what y'all have curated as a culture for black men. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse for y'all to get out of that. The reason y'all lack of morals, selling out y'all communities, selling out young black men so that y'all can make rap songs that can help you get a leg up, but it's going to destroy all the young black men that are listening to you. That's not admirable. And you going to the hood and giving out a couple turkeys at Thanksgiving does not outweigh all of the damage and the chaos and the lyrical poison that you have fed to young black men and black boys. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Period. So I'm not trying to hear that at all. Period. No. And that's exactly why the dude that came up here, he was in the comments talking about this is G. This is G what she talk about. This is G. That's the reason why I talk to him how I talk to him, because he's also a goofy. A goofy. Exactly, PG 1908. Meg Thee Stallion graduated from college. Exactly. What are these other black male hoodlum rappers doing? Definitely not graduating. That's for sure. Definitely not getting college diplomas. Definitely not making music that could actually influence young black men to make better decisions. Not making music to tell them to uplift the black woman and black girls. No, that's not what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I yet to hear a black man come up here with a reasonable explanation as to why black men started gangster rap. It literally destroyed the black community. It literally destroyed the culture. It literally destroyed the minds of black boys and black men. Yeah. So until y'all can give me a reason why they did that makes sense, other than you making excuses about it, or you saying, oh, the white T-man made me do it. The white T-man is the one that told us we had to do it. Well, just because he told you had to do it doesn't mean that, excuse me, it doesn't mean that you had to do it. All right, so I want to talk about it. I want to also talk about, once again, black women. You cannot entertain, you cannot give even an ounce of your time to a Pookie. And that's a man that clearly is interested in genres of music that are degrading. My thing is this, is that, when I was dating, if a man told me that like his favorite genre of music was rap, I didn't even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like if he said, hey, my favorite genre of music is rap. Like, and I'd be like, okay, so give me some of your rappers, your favorite rappers. And if he wasn't talking like, you know what I'm saying, like conscious rappers, back in my time, like the semi-conscious rappers were like Nas and people like that. Most Def and others like that. I wasn't trying to talk to him. Hold on, they say, is this skipping, you guys? Cause let me delete some of these men that are in here if there are. Let me see if I can find the men that are in here and block them. Okay, bye. You're a man. You gotta go. You're probably reporting. Let me see if I see any more. Yep, I see another one. Yep, you're getting blocked. All right. Yep, you're getting blocked. Okay. Y'all let me know if y'all still hear the skipping. Okay. So me personally, men, let me block this A1 person. Hold on. You're blocked. Bye-bye. You're never to be seen again. Yes. So I would say, like I said, when I was dating, men that were interested in rap, like I would never talk to. So if they come, you go and you talk to them and they say, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? My favorite rappers are, Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy and all of them, Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi Vert and all that. I promise you, leave them men alone. Leave them men alone. Disrespect is on the way, because a man that is comfortable listening to the disrespect of women to a beat, I promise you he gonna disrespect you too. Honestly, if he's listening to rap and every other word is, oh, this is how I treat these bees. This is how I treat these 304s. Get on your knees and do this, and then I'm gonna kick you out and all of this other stuff. If that is what a man that you are interested in is his main form of music that he really likes, don't talk to him, please. Because then when he does that exact same thing to you, you'll be shocked, and you shouldn't be. If the man is trying to emulate, as I said earlier, all of these things, saggy pants, ghetto culture, talking ignorant, talking reckless, those are not men that you want to entertain. And I think that goes right into line and number 2 is that we ask why. Because when you talk about black femicide and you talk about black women losing their lives, so often, men will say, oh, well, the white T men killed the white T women too. The Hispanic men killed the Hispanic women too. The Indian men and the Asian men, it's all men unalive. It's proximity. Which there is a truth to that being proximity, but also black women are unalive the most here in the United States when compared to other demographics and proximity. You get what I'm saying? And so we have to figure out, why are black men more likely to unalive a black woman? Why are black men more likely to beat the brakes off of you? Why are black men more likely to unalive their pregnant girlfriends, pregnant wives, pregnant baby mamas? There's a reason for that, and it is the culture that is curated for Black men and Black women. That the abuse and disrespect and degradation of Black women is okay. They also try to romanticize it. Like if you remember Baby Boy with Tyrese, how they tried to romanticize them getting together at the end. This man had cheated on her. This man was taking her car, cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? Cheating on her with a girl that she worked with, disrespecting her, overstepping, then got mad at her when he perceived that she did something that wasn't even as big a deal as what he had done to her. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and he put his hands on her as well. And at the end, y'all got them in a boat. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is good. Like she got a good choice of a broke bum, Pookie, dust bucket. No, that type of brainwashing is also the reason why so many Black women and Black girls settle for less. Exactly. No marriage. Just pregnant again. Exactly. And that's my thing. That is what Black men who are still in charge of these type of images of Black women and Black men, they sell to Black women. Don't expect much. Don't expect much. Don't expect the ring. I'll make you a baby mama. Don't expect me respecting you. Don't expect me taking care of you financially. Don't expect really nothing other than me to be there every now and again. And that's what you should be happy for or happy with, which is actually disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk to Black men about these things that they have started, you know what I'm saying? They have nothing to say. Like if you notice the Black men that got on this panel today had nothing to say. The only thing they started doing is trying to find some way to bring it back to Black women. That's why they're like, oh no, let me talk first. Let me talk about the women's first. Let me talk about the women's first. I need to talk about the women's. Let me talk about the single mothers. Like one dude, let me talk about the single mothers. No, we're not gonna do that, sir. We're going to talk about the actual real problem. And that type of allowing Black men to live in delusion about the type of men that they are, about the type of culture that they have curated for the Black community is the reason why they feel comfortable to get on a podcast, being broke, busted, disgusted, ugly, no money, have treated every woman that they've come across bad and still fix their lips to talk badly about Black women and their mothers. That's the reason why, because we have let them get too comfortable. We've let them get too comfortable. Thanks for the gift. We let them get too comfortable. And that is something that we got to stop doing. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the thing about it is that when you also talk about how Black men disrespect Black women, they will say, oh, we don't respect y'all because y'all got an attitude. We don't respect y'all because y'all don't know how to submit. We don't respect y'all because y'all getting child support and all this other stuff. But they never talk about, why don't y'all respect each other then? How come y'all are deleting each other in high numbers? I just saw a influencer that they said was on a beach or something, and some dude was bothering him, and I guess he started going back and forth with him. They got into a fight, and he got the better of the guy, and his friend unalived him. Like, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. If y'all say that y'all unalive Black women because they don't respect Black women, why do y'all unalive each other? Like, that's what I really need to know. Why do y'all unalive each other then? Is it because y'all don't respect each other too? Let's make it make sense here. Truthfully. I would love to know that answer. Jeremy St. Louis, you said, is this a Black man hate room? Why would you think, I can guarantee you, if you heard some dudes talking about single mothers and how they're ruining the world, as y'all like to say so often, you wouldn't have asked, is this a Black woman hate room? And
Who
nothing
said
that I
single?
said was
Who said
wasn't
single
factual.
women? Who said we hate single women?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm not even gonna talk about that. Why do you think that Black men started gangster rap? Why did they do that when it ruined the Black community and put a lot of Black men in the grave or in prison?
You're blaming rap music on that?
I'm asking you, why did, yes, is a definite correlation to the behavior of black men after gangster rap was introduced to how they're acting currently right now. There's a definite correlation of the behavior, the criminality, the increase of crime against black men, against other black men, and also against black women after gangster rap was introduced. You do know, and also against black women after gangster rap was introduced. You do know that, right? There are plenty of studies that have talked
No, no,
about that.
no, 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 no. I, I, you know
I
how
can't hear you. You're breaking up. I
business
can't
to
hear you.
build.
Once again, so answer my question. Did you answer
Can
it?
you
Because
hear
you were
me?
breaking up.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You there? You breaking up, Jeremy. You breaking up. When you get a better connection, come back. Because I can't hear you. Even though, like I said, I'm sure that whatever he was about to say was about to be an excuse. That's for sure. You can already tell that was about to be the biggest excuse in the entire world. Y'all let me know if it's still skipping, because I'm going through and blocking profiles that say user, and I'm also blocking profiles of men because y'all never want to hear the truth and all y'all do is report, which is actually ridiculous. But if you have a blank profile, I'm sorry, I'm blocking you. You have to come back from your main page. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Is it skipping still, you guys? Cause I blocked a whole bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? All right. It's still skipping, Jess. Y'all let me know. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Y'all see it no? Okay, great, 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 great. All right. I blocked a whole bunch of other people that probably were reporting. So once again, if you notice that when you ask black men, you know, what about rap, they don't have anything to say. They don't want to address the points. They don't even want to say it. Because they know that they don't have an excuse for it. And then my thing is that if anybody's done any research about this, they said that crime took a sharp uptake. Crime in black communities, crime amongst black men against other black men, crime and disrespect against black women skyrocketed after the introduction of gangster rap, with NWA being one of the forerunners of this new genre of unhealthy music. Poison. Lyrical poison is what I call it. So I don't understand why y'all are pretending like y'all don't know. And it's crazy to me is that, y'all can talk about Meg Thee Stallion. Y'all can talk about Nicki Minaj. Y'all can talk about Suki Hana. Y'all can talk about Sexy Red. Y'all can talk about Cardi B. Y'all can talk about all of these women that make rap music and talk about how, oh, I can tell that rap music is changing young black women. It's changing black girls. It's making them do this, that, and the third. But y'all don't make the connection that gangster rap changed black men and black boys. You see what I'm saying? It's this type of delusion and lack of accountability that the majority or the collective of black men have that's really infuriating to me. It makes me so upset because you can say, wait a minute. Let's not have Sexy Red out here twerking and popping it because she's going to influence the young girls to want to twerk it and pop it. But y'all don't think that Lil Durk and King Von and NBA Youngboy and Playboy Cardi and all of these other stupid rappers that are out here rapping about unaliving people, y'all don't, that's gonna make a young boy unalive somebody? Especially when half of the rappers that we're talking about actually go to jail for unaliving people, go to jail for harming people, go to jail for putting their hands on people. NBA Youngboy been locked up a bajillion times. Lil Durk right now is in prison. In prison. Tory Lanez in prison. In prison. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It literally makes zero sense at all. None. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Just Yo Fave Capricorn. She mentioned Lil RT. Lil RT is it's a great example, but also it's a sad example. You know, Very sad example. Because he's 9 years old rapping about ungodly things that he should never be saying anything about. And then my thing is that once this boy grows up to be a menace to society, everybody's going to act like they don't know why. Everybody's going to act like it's not the culture, it's not the music, and it's not all the black men that were right behind him, cheering him on and encouraging him. It's ridiculous. Honestly, ridiculous. Truthfully. So that's just something that we really, 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 really got to talk about. And my thing is that we can't stop the way that men behave. We can't stop the culture that's already been put in motion. We can't stop how black men treat black women, but black women do have power here. We can reduce black femicide. And the way to do that is there are men that you can look at and see, oh, he's trouble. He's not going to be right. You can see it just by looking at them. Those type of men need to stop being entertained, period. Like I said earlier, a black man being violent, a black man going to jail, a black man being hyper masculine and hyper aggressive, should not be sexy or attractive to you. If you see this man, his pants are sagging, he got gold teeth all up in his mouth, he over there smoking Lord knows what, popping pills, doing all of these things, that is not a man that you should entertain. He hasn't been to school. He don't got a high school diploma. He doesn't have a trade, or he doesn't have a college diploma, or he's not working on it. Don't entertain these men. There's no reason why a man or boy in 2025 can't get a trade. You can get a trade. You can get a Pell Grant. You can get financial aid, and you can go get you a trade. Even if his college is not for you, there's a lot of money in trades. You can be an electrician. Oh, yes. And also, if the man doesn't have anything, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a place to stay, he doesn't have a vehicle, but you have all of that, do not entertain that man, because he's going to be jealous of you. He's going to hate on you, and he's going to try to bring you down to his level. And it happens over and over and over and over again with black women. It really does. Truthfully. So, I just want black women to recognize the signs. If a black man has been to jail, if a black man has been to jail, if a black man has been to prison for anything, if he's been in prison, I don't care what it was for, don't entertain him. If a black man has been to jail, do not entertain him. If he's been arrested, do not entertain him. I promise you shouldn't. The only way that you could possibly think about doing it is if it was for speeding tickets. And I wouldn't take his word for that. I would look him up online on your local, criminal court database and see and find out exactly what it was that he went for. Period. If he's been to jail or prison, he's a no-go. Period. Do not entertain a black man that has been to prison or jail. I don't care if it was 6 months. I don't care if it was a year. And definitely, you know how there are black women that entertain black men that have did 3, 4, 5, 6 years in prison. If a man has done that amount of time in prison, more than likely he's been engaged in DL activity. They never stop doing that once they start doing it. So once again, you get with them, you're risking your health and safety. Also, if you find out and you get mad and you want to tell people, do you know how many black women have been unalived because of that? Because they found out that a man was involved in that type of activity and they felt betrayed and they told somebody and these men have unalived them. It's that I can think of at least 10 occasions right now. So if a man has been in prison, automatically assume that he was either getting bent or doing the bending, period. You got to automatically assume that he was either getting bent or doing the bending, period. Period. I've talked to too many black men that have been in prison to know that this is definitely prevalent. You know what I'm saying? And just like Supervillain said, the last story where the man unalived his mama, sister, and girlfriend because he was exposed for DL activity. Crazy. They're willing to actually unalive you to keep their secret. Even though they don't know when they unalive these women, they're going to find out why you did it. And it's still going to be exposed. So just live in your truth. Yes, and Black Beauty, the who says the crazy thing that these women are waiting on these dudes in prison who are doing 30 or 40-year bids. Yes, if you are a Black woman and you have a job, you're educated, you're going to school, you created a life for yourself, and you're at home waiting on a man that is in prison, what I want you to do right now is go in your bathroom, look in the mirror, and smack yourself as hard as you can and snap out of it. Snap out of it. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully. And think about it. If you were locked up, do you think that he would wait for you? If you had a 30-year bid, do you think that he would be somewhere waiting for you? Waiting and wishing and praying for the day that you get out, that y'all can be together? Never, 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 never. He would never wait for you. He wouldn't even remember your name when you got out. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to know that. Let me see. Let's see here. Chandra Graham says if he's been in there 6 minutes, don't talk to me. Exactly. You know, I just feel like, there are so many ways that Black women can actually protect themselves against Black femicide, but I don't want to come across as being judgmental. I'm not saying that every woman can stop this from happening. But what I'm saying is I really do believe, and this is like a mild estimate. I believe that at least 50% of Black femicide can I believe at least 50% of Black femicide would never happen if women would be very careful with not giving men grace and not giving men that don't deserve to have a relationship or a woman, they should have never given those men a chance. Period. Let's see here. Very jacked up. You said the guy that I dragged made a live about me. Who is it? What guy? I dragged so many of them. I don't know which one you're talking about. Anybody that wants to come in the box, you can. You can. If anybody wants to join the live, y'all can join. What guy? What's his name? I don't know who y'all talking about, but y'all let me know. Not that I care, though, to be honest with you. They talk about me all the time. Like the men talk about me all the time. And I think it's because men like to control. You know what I'm saying? Men like to come on a woman's live and control her and tell her what to say and tell her what to do and take charge. If you notice, all the men that came up was like, hey, let me speak. Let me say that. Whoa. That's what they do. And when you don't let them do that to you, they can't handle it. It's like they almost explode because, unfortunately, Black women have created a space to where Black men feel entitled and they feel like they have some type of right to be able to tell you what to do as a Black woman. And they're not used to Black women like directly challenging them and telling them like, hey, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And they can't handle it. That's why they short circuit, but I'm not here for it. Y'all can talk about me all day, and hate on me all day, but you will never stop the fact that what I'm saying is absolutely truthful. So it's like you can attack me and you can talk about me, but attack my points. Attack my points, but you can't because I'm right. So that's at the end of the day, what can we say? Because you can attack me, but you can't attack my points. You can't say that I'm wrong. So it's like, talk about me. You probably bring more subscribers to my page. Like, honestly. But if anybody wants to join the box, like y'all can send a request to join the box if you want. Like for sure. Let me add y'all up. Yeah, like y'all can definitely come up. Okay, we'll start here with Sirius. Go ahead,
Yes.
Sirius.
Hi.
Hey.
I really like your topics. I've never even been on a live before, but I just wanted to kind of touch on it a little bit. Um, as a black woman who is recently married, I do want to start also by saying I'm not one of them black women who hate men and all that stuff. I get why women are having these thought processes. I get it, but I'm not one of those. um, as
I don't
far
know what you mean.
as the women who or who women have been like unalived by their black men, I do think that what you're saying is right as far as choosing certain types of men. Um, we have to be honest and be real with ourselves about what we look at as masculine. And a lot of black women connect, um, they connect aggressiveness and I guess that quote unquote gangster mentality to being masculine. And we kind of got to debunk that a little bit. We got to stop doing it. Um, I also there's been women in my family who have dealt with femicide, been victims of femicide. I don't know. The topics just really touched me. So I just wanted to say that I definitely agree with you with everything that you're saying. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey. Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Sorry about that. Yeah, you said that you weren't like one of those women that hate men or something like that. I think I don't hate men either. I'm also married, but I do feel like a lot of times I feel like we as black women feel like we want to give that disclaimer before we start talking, and I also think that that is a shaming tactic in a way that black men have made black women feel that they have to say that to call out things that are actually going on in the black community because for the life of me, when I see lies where black men are going in on single mothers and tearing them to pieces and talking about them and talking about how they ruin the black community and they're they're responsible for everything. Before these men start going in, I never hear them say, "Hey, I love black women. I love black women. I'm not one of those men that hate black women. I love y'all, but I just had to." I never hear them do that. I never hear them do those type of disclaimers. So I just feel like we shouldn't, but I can't police you serious on what to say. I'm not trying to, but I was just saying that sometimes I think that it's almost like an unconscious thing that black women do to try to attempt to protect black men, even when they don't deserve the protection that you're offering, even though collectively they won't offer that protection towards you, if that makes sense. And I was talking about your husband, of course, but like the collective of black men in general. But let me go to Kalandra. Well, we'll just keep going. I'll start with you. The next Kalandra, I'll put your timer on. Go ahead, Kalandra.
I just wanted to say I agree with your lies. When they talking about 304s and stuff, and they blame Meg the Stallion, Sexy Red, Lotto, Glorilla, you don't never hear men come in there and say, "Well, we ain't talking about all of y'all." So I don't understand why they were so mad when you started blaming rap music, which is true because Michelle A, who was getting DV by Dre, she literally said that rap music hated women. So I don't understand when y'all always want to try to justify black men, somebody you coming in here saying you married, like it's a problem with black men unaliving their wives. That is a serious problem that needs to be talked about. And like you said, because I'm a single mother, I done been in lives. They basically said I'm going to ruin my son's life. I'm dumb. I didn't care about my son because I wasn't married. Men drag women on these apps all the time. Gangster rap music is a problem because when you're listening to music so much, you started thinking like, dang, that's how real life is. Because that is what you're putting into your mind. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right. I got you, sis. All right, so let me go next to Supervillain. Go ahead, Supervillain.
Good morning, Trig and
Hey.
family. Y'all, housekeeping duties. Get these likes up. Let's get her to the likes she deserves. We're having a great conversation, and we're with intelligent people. It's free to tap. Y'all support the live. I did want to say to the first topic, and then a couple points. I'll be brief. I see the club is crowded this morning. Thank goodness, because this is important topics. About the not supporting like degenerate behavior when it comes to black men in the community. We can't control things like what type of music they put out, what's popular in a sense of what the men do, but we can definitely not support it. Black women's buying power alone can really damage any type of source of thing that they're trying to push out. So I think that's very important to harp on things that we can control. We're not in the studio making the music, but we also don't have to support it. We don't have to like it on TikTok. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying, listen to the music, support it in any which way or form, because let's be for real, especially when it comes to purchasing power, it is black women purchasing these things. I've never ever heard a guy buying a ticket anywhere. It's usually the girlfriend or the wife. I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying things that I hear. So just like not supporting the degenerate music is a big thing that we can control. Again, we're not the ones writing the rhymes. We also don't have to consume the music. I did want to say to the not dating felons, I thought that was so funny. We got to take it a step further. If you've been to jail, again, like it was said in the comments, even if it's 6 minutes, we need to flip the narrative. You know how they make you feel terrible for being a single mother? We need to start making felons feel like single mothers. And it's crazy that I even have to make that statement in the community, but we all know the big bad wolf in the black community is single moms. Well, we need to start flipping the narrative. Anytime a felon come here and try to say something and open his mouth, he should be shamed like he is a single mom, working hard, 2 kids on government assistance. That's how we need to start making them feel. I got a lot more to say, but it's a lot of people, so I'm gonna spend the block, but I just want to throw those points out there. Thank you, you.
Okay, no problem, super villain. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you, sis. All right, let me go down here to Carmel Mermaid. Go ahead, sis.
Sis, I'm gonna say this. Oh yeah, I'm glad. Like I sit up here on 10 toes, and I would say straight up, I don't listen to rap. I don't do it. Never. I rarely even listened to rap when I was a teenager. Like I was the only middle schooler that listened to neo soul. I was weird. But what this was going on, like I found out what was going on. Like he really went on live, did what he did because they got into an argument. Like couples get into arguments all the time. It's like an argument should not be resolved to a person getting put off the census. And I think that's the most stupid thing. I don't know. Because the first one, I think, is because black women, they think in their mind, not all, but I realize those black women who entertain them be thinking in their mind like, oh, well, that's love. If he doesn't hit me, that's love because of the fact that my mama been through it, my grandma been through it, and that's a way of a man telling me he loves me. So in their deluded, weird mind, being whatever that punching bag brand is, that's Everlast, being an Everlast is love. You know what? Number 2, I don't know why, but I think it's narcissism because I looked in this, like did a little bit of research that they said like majority of black men are narcissists. So when you call them out on that, next thing you know, it's I'm gonna knock you between a washer and dryer. They cannot control their own angers, and I'm gonna say this: men are actually mutated genes. I'm sorry, but they really basically are a mutation of a woman. And you know how mutants kind of act in a sense? It's like they don't have it all in the brain. So that's one. And pretty much like that's all I gotta say. But the main reason why I was here, the person who was telling you that the other person was speaking about you, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be curious. I'm gonna see what it's about. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna look for like 30 seconds and I'm gonna scroll through some comments. So that live I came across, they're literally blaming that woman for her own unalivement. Like literally victim blaming. Talking about, women should know not to push a man to a boiling point. I'm like, there should not be a boiling point whatsoever. Like, you should have discernment. You're an adult. Control your emotions. Like I said, we so emotional. Control your emotions. That's very simple. Then the person who told you that he was talking about you, she was on the comments talking about, yeah, that's why she's dragging you, as if you're talking about him right now. So I was like, well, no, that is not the case. So let me get up on here. If this person's still here, I'm gonna have to call them out on that. So that's what I did. I said, she's not even talking about him no more. So you saying that she is dragging you she said, no. I said she dragged because she did it earlier. No, you're saying dragging. Dragging, if you know your tense, if you add an ing to it, it's present tense.
All right. I just wanted to say, like, I feel like anybody that's blaming Duchess Dior for her own unaliving and not putting the blame on this man that is clearly emotionally unregulated, because I saw some of the lives, like, she said something, right? And he picked up what can I say? Probably can't say it. He picked up a poking object, okay? And she was like, you gonna poke me? You gonna poke me? And my thing is that at that time, it's like, excuse me, like you already are an emotionally unregulated, violent, dangerous man, because who does something like that? You know what I'm saying? And I honestly believe that that's the reason why the rates of abuse, and violence in the Black community amongst Black men will always continue to skyrocket, because Black men refuse to take any type of accountability for what goes on. They always find some type of way to blame the woman or blame others for their own behavior. And even when they go, like, I remember it was one where some Black boys had tried to carjack this man, and the man had pulled a blick out and had sent all of them to meet their maker, that people were like, oh, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. Them boys was young. So they had weapons as well. Like, it's just the lack of accountability is just literally insane. And that all that does is further the state of the Black community. And people wonder why they say, oh, it's just because the Black woman goes along with the white T man. That's the reason why they're able to be successful and be educated and be all of this and that. No, it's not. The reason why Black women are able to do that is because Black women are held accountable no matter what. Nobody makes excuse of them. Nobody makes excuses for Black women and Black girls. You get pregnant, nobody says, oh, that Black girl got pregnant because she's raised by a single mother, or because her daddy wasn't there. Oh, let's throw a pity party for her. Oh, it's the white T-man. It's the white T-man that did it to her. She couldn't help it. Nobody says that. Everybody just calls her the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst and tears her to pieces. So it's like Black women already know that nobody's coming to save them. Nobody's coming to defend their name. Nobody's doing anything. So they got to make it happen. And I wish that people would understand that extended grace, extended coddling, worship that we give to Black men only harms them. It does not help them, which is the reason why if you compare Black men's numbers to any other race of men, they cannot compare. They're down on all counts because nobody holds them accountable for nothing. But let me keep going. Gabrielle, and then then we'll do Cameron. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, hey Triggered. I just want
Hey.
to, because I think earlier you were asking a lot of the men about why there was drill rap. Am I hearing that correct? Did I hear that correctly? You were asking like why that was started in like the 80s or
Yes, I said that. Why did they do it? And I know why, but I just wanted them to admit the effects that it had on the Black community. But I think they were all uneducated.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, I agree. I think my theory on that. I'll segue to. I promise I'll get to the prompt really quickly. I think they started because like they want control over women. But anyway, back to the prompt. So I can't see. I can see your profile, but I can't see the questions. Can you remind me what the prompt was again? Or okay, I see it now. I think so. For number one, I think it's because there is so much conditioning in the Black community for to that normalizes abusive and violent behavior is like masculine, quote unquote, or that's just a man, even though that train of thinking is wrong. As far as number two goes, I mean, I really, and I know I've been in a bunch of lives and I've mentioned misogyny a lot, but I really do think a lot of it comes down to misogyny. Like, I think a lot of BM seriously do believe that in order for them to be quote unquote masculine, they have to dominate women, they have to, be in control. Like, there can't ever be any healthy masculinity of them, being genuine partners to women and, uplifting and supporting women. And like you said earlier in the live, like in the music, like, the drill rap that you were talking about that started in the 80s and 90s, like these men are openly said things like, oh, we'll never love a woman, we'll never respect a woman, like all a woman is good for is like what's between her legs or on her knees or whatever. So that is why I think that like that music that you mentioned that does tie into the violence in the BC, because if boys grow up hearing that and they have brothers and fathers who are hearing that, it just creates, a vicious cycle. And I think that also kind of goes into number three, because if BW are constantly being subjected to violence and misogyny and, abuse and poor treatment from BM, it's like, how could any woman, respect a man like that? It's just not going to happen. And then BM not respecting be women, that again, misogyny, drill rap, backwards ideas about what it means to be a man and what masculinity means. And as far as number four, I think you mentioned this on the live yesterday. I believe I was in here, but I do think you're right about just avoiding men who show red flags, whether it's listening to, misogynistic rap music, whether they're into red pill or misogyny. I think if women as a collective just do not deal with men who show any of those signs, that will, prevent a lot of Black femicide and, a lot of the issues that are prevalent in the BC. And as far as number five, I just think choosing better is, basically, you know, vetting men. I mean, there are some people who think that you can't vet men. I personally think that you can, but I think just like vetting men, seeing how he interacts, how does he speak, if he sounds like one of the guys who are constantly coming in this live, then just like you were saying earlier, don't even bother with them. Just, whatever, let him go. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I know my time's almost up. I just wanted to weigh in on the prompt. So thank you.
All right, no problem, Gabrielle. It's always good to hear from you. Okay, so let me go down here to Cameron.
I just want to tell everyone hello. Like you, I kind of heard what you said, like on your when you were last speaking about, men being accountable. I agree. A lot of us are not really led right or being taught right from the very beginning. I completely understand about not about a lot of us do get grace. I totally agree. Even growing up differently with having a brother and a sister, how my mom pushed my sister, how me and my brothers, we was just kind of like live with a bit of had a little leeway. But to speak on like now, I completely understand. With myself, for an example, I have two boys, and so I can't really, I have to teach them the right way, which I had to learn and figure out what's the right way. Growing up, we all had some type of, growing up, we all had some type of example, and it just wasn't right. But, there's no excuse. I think a lot of us have issues with finding who we are, and then we get with women not knowing who we are, just going off of basic what we have seen, and that's a problem. But I agree with everything you say, far as in just being accountable, just, what I'm saying, understanding the situation, women, knowing your surroundings, knowing if you in a safe place or not. Like, don't just stick around. I hate to hear women get hurt or harmed in any way, type of form when it comes to, a man being violent. But that's pretty much all I had to say. I just wanted, to say that I agree with a lot of things that you said. But a lot of us men do get a lot of leeway. And then, for me, a lot of us is literate. Like, we don't comprehend that well too. And it's not because it's because we wasn't being pushed at it when we was younger. So, when a lot of women are, advancing themselves, a lot of things that we may not know, and the things that may cause argument can cause a man to be violent because he don't fully understand. And I think that's a thing too. But, I'm out trying to help the community, help younger boys, to understand yourself first. And then, once you get yourself together, then you're able to go out and find someone and treat them right. So I'm just trying to be an example for, my boys, and hopefully I can be an example for a lot of other little boys as well too, to try to make things better. But yeah.
All right, okay. All right, thank you very much, Cameron. All right, so let me move. Oh shoot, I think I accidentally edited again. Hold on, I gotta end it. Okay, so let me go over here to Drizzy. Go ahead, Drizzy.
Hey,
Hey.
so it's so funny when you started talking about hip hop. I was on a panel before and they were talking about how rap has ruined the community. They didn't really specify the time period. And it was like these older guys, they were like in their 50s, and they were talking about modern rap. And I kept trying to like go back to the point of like gangster rap and how, that's definitely, and I'm like, you guys grew up in that time frame. So you saw the difference between how your granddaddy was wearing like suits and being a different type of gentleman to what you see now that you are an older man. And they would just have their blinders on about it. And you also talked about how they're controlling even the movies. I mean, the image and the culture, they're controlling the way that Black women are viewed in this space. And they're sitting in these rooms, and a lot of times they're either thinking with their other head or they're just being greedy and they want, the money. They don't care if they open doors for other men. That's why in our community, we don't help each other. We always are trying to make somebody pay for game. Other communities do not do that. And most of the game has to go through Black men. And they're never thinking about the community. They're only thinking about themselves and filling their own pockets. And so I think now, as a result, with women having access and gaining more autonomy in this country, and then men telling them to choose better, they are starting to choose better. Because for a long time, Black women were not dating outside their race. They always would say that they want a Black man, but they have small pickings because either they might be gay, they might be in prison, they might already be married, they might be too old or too young or whatever. And so now Black women are dating outside their race so they can have more options because Black men aren't taking responsibility for anything that they do. And you just put that into words, Trigger, earlier. I mean, you was spitting. And as far as the prom goes, I didn't know about the situation, but I was listening and how they're trying to blame this woman for her own unalivement. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If someone was unalived by someone else, like, it's like that person had to do that action. And I just feel like with men, like they are so team men versus women. They just, it's like always a competition now. They didn't used to sound like this, but now it's like they are all saying the same things. They all parrot the same talking points. And it's almost like red versus blue when you're talking to someone who's MAGA. And it's scary to watch how brainwashed they are and how how low they can't comprehend like simple arguments when people try to make it and try to get them to understand how they can have sympathy for one thing. Like I was talking about the Miss Shirley thing with that little girl, how Black men could understand that was wrong to have that little girl, in those clubs and doing all that stuff. But you can't understand how grooming little TJ to be a menace isn't, a form of mistreatment too. You know what I'm saying? So, but you made it all make sense, Sugar. So I hope what I said makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. What you said definitely made sense for sure. I think there is something to be said about and this is still like unfortunately a prevalent mentality among Black women, the desire, the need to protect and uplift and defend Black men, just like the lady that was up here, no shade to her, anything, how before she spoke, she wanted to say that she's not one of those women that hate Black men. You know, she loves Black men, even though nobody said anything hateful about Black men. We were just talking about things that are actually happening and true. And this idea that Black men, and I don't care if Black men acknowledge it or they don't, but it is a fact that Black men know that they will get empathy, love, respect from Black women. Still, a lot of Black women, they will still make excuses for them. They will still protect and defend them against other groups of people. And that same level of love and empathy that Black women consistently and constantly show to Black men, they never reciprocated. And if you ever needed to know, oh, well, I don't know if Black men really feel that way, I'll tell you how you can totally tell. You can totally tell when you see men like Telvin Osborne, the Black man that said that he would sleep with a dog before he slept with a Black woman. The fact that his big buckethead brother came up on social media and was upset that Black women said that they weren't going to speak up his name or try to rally or advocate for him. He was upset and making excuses and talking about Black people need to stick together when his Black brother had did nothing but degrade Black women. It's the same way, I think his name is Toby Boomsale or whatever, who was on Twitter dogging out Black women. They ended up getting unalived and toe tagged by his white tee girlfriend that was beating the brakes off of him regularly. They expected defense and protection to be given to Black men that wouldn't spit on a Black woman if they were on fire. And until we stop extending this consistent and constant grace to Black men when they do nothing of the sort back, these things are going to continue to escalate. And it's the same just like with this Duchess Dior story. This man was sitting there violating her, calling her out her name, calling her the B word. She said that he had cheated on her a million times. She said that he had put his hands on her while she was pregnant. She said the way he spoke to her was like she was a dog outside, a person that he didn't even know, a complete stranger. But yes, she was still there in the home with him, letting him live with her because he was a broke Dusty, letting him be around. She had all these Facebook posts where she's talking about she's tired of providing for herself and providing for her kids and not getting help. And if something happens to her, he did it and all of these other things. But yes, she was still there. And I'm not trying to blame her. But what I'm saying is that this constant grace and acceptance that Black women give to Black men for doing them super dirty and bogus is going to be the unaliving of us all. We've got to stop doing that because Black men do not respect that. I will tell you what they do respect, though. They respect when you don't play with them. They may not like you. They may call you a B. They may even make a live about you like these Negroes did to me. But trust and believe, at the end of the day, Black men respect Black women that don't play no games with them, truthfully. And once Black women get out of their emotional state of wanting to coddle and baby Black men and realize that if you can do it, they sure can too, and don't play no games with them and don't have no problem telling a Black man what you need and desire. And if he doesn't fit the qualifications that he needs to kick rocks with no socks, the better off we will all be. But so many Black women be like, oh, he can pay the light bill. Oh, he's doing the best he can. Oh, well, at least he's here. Oh, I know he ain't never gave me $1 to the kids that he created, but at least he comes around. If you stop allowing Black men to get away with these things and stop allowing Black men in your circle who you should clutch your purse when you see, these bums, these pookies, these criminals with goals all in their mouth, felonies, not a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, you could protect yourself better because at least 50% of Black women that are unalived, and this is, like I said earlier, it's a very light estimation. But at least 50% of Black women that are unalived by Black men are unalived by pookies. They're unalived by black men that they should have never even looked in that man's direction. And that's the truth. But let me just keep going because Supervillain wanted to say something. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, thank you, Trick. And I just a couple of points, but I do want to throw out there that this degeneracy, uh, it is by no account, it goes across any elitism or classism. It goes any educational status, any political status, like each and every demographic of, I would say men in general, but we're talking about black men, display this degenerate behavior. I know there's this whole push on anti-intellectualism and misogyny, but even the smartest men are misogynistic and harmful. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not just the Pookie and the Ray Rays. It's the fake Martin Luther King Jr.'s. It's the fake Ben Carsons. It's every demographic of all of them can be extremely dangerous and harmful. I'm also going to say, to the point that you made, I am actually, you know, the straight, self-proclaimed misandrist. I am one of those women who do hate men, and it's not just black men, it's actually all men for me. And I think that's okay. I think men need to understand that there are women who are not going to be nice. And when we start showing that there are women like that more and more, they're not going to come in rooms and expecting respect or to dominate the panel, right? They come in here surprised all the time because they see black women and think it's a pick me space over here because it's black women, right? Because black women give them so much grace. So I think being mean, and I encourage a lot more women, especially black women, to be mean. To be mean. And to that effect, I would say this: someone had put in the chat earlier that a lot of black men don't have self control, and I want to say I disagree. Because when it's time to get aggressive, when it's time to unalive somebody, when it's time to knock somebody's head off their shoulders, they know exactly where. They have the self control of where to target that behavior. The most dangerous person to a black man to me in America is a white T man. But they're not going at white T men like they're going at black women. That's self-control, if you ask me. They know exactly, again, where to display that aggression. That's why black women, maybe we should start being like white tea men. Start being very hard on black men, because there's nobody, absolutely nobody harder on black men than a white tea man. And they the safest one next to a black man. So again, we need to start navigating our behavior and acting accordingly. Stop giving grace. Start treating them like you are a white man. Start being harsh to them, because guess what? The white tea man is safe out here when it comes to black men. Um, what's the child that got unalived? I feel so bad that I can't remember his name. It's leaving me. But he was he gunned down. He pee-peed down the young man walking in the neighborhood who went to go get like a Arizona or something. I feel
Oh,
so terrible.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin, his unaliver is still walking around free as a bird, or safe. Plenty of people who've done wrong things to, even if you're not mad, black children are walking around safe. Meanwhile, these dudes are unaliving the woman in their house that loves them because she talked too loud. Meanwhile, men are coming and windmilling us on a panel because they don't like what we gotta say. But if you scroll two lives down, it's a white tea man talking all types of smack about how much of a monkey you are. And you quiet. You're not in those panels windmilling them. So again, black women, you might need to start being a little bit more mean. Stop giving them grace, because again, the safest person next to a black man is a white tea man. So start acting accordingly. I yield, Trick.
All right, all right. And thank you so much, Supervillain. And I just wanted to say this. Just in case so you guys understand what I'm saying, I definitely believe that it's not just men that I guess perpetuate the stereotype of what a Pookie, when you think about a Pookie, looks like, with pants sagging and all of that type of stuff. But what I'm saying is that when I've done so much research, and I've been doing it now for years and years and years on Black femicide, all of these different cases, all of these different instances of Black women that have lost their lives. Like I said, I'm doing a small, I'm saying 50% have been Black men. When you look at them, they have been what you would perceive to be the stereotypical Pookie in front of your eyes. Men that don't have anything, men that are dusty, men that have been to jail or prison, men that look exactly like what you think when you think about a man that looks like that, over and over and over and over again. And I know that, of course, there are intellectual men, educated men that also have unalived Black women. I remember, I think it was the guy that filmed himself. He was an anesthesiologist. He unalived his like ex-wife and I think his baby mama or something like that on film. And he was definitely an educated man. He didn't look like a Pookie at all, but he was clearly unhinged. But I just want to say that when we start talking about ways to protect yourselves as Black women, you know, when you put a checklist, like if you start with the easiest thing to decipher at first, it's easy to just, okay, nope, you already gone. You already in the discard pile. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember hearing a story of a Black girl that got with this guy. He had been locked up for 6 years. He got out, was with her, started beating the brakes off of her. She didn't want to be with him, so she came outside to go to work. He was waiting on her and, you know, filled her full of hoes. Unfortunately, I go look at the man's picture. You already know what he looked like. It's happened to me so many times, and it's just like you looking at him like, whoa, like, wow, like, why were these women even attracted to these men? These men look like literal criminals. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that, of course, there's other men that we need to start talking about how to get rid of. But I'm just saying, if he presents that way off the rip, like he's an extra in a rap video, those are men you definitely want to avoid and not talk to, because those are men that have already been brainwashed by the negative culture that has been curated for Black men. They've already been brainwashed. That's the reason why they dress like that. That's the reason why they got that stuff in their mouth. That's the reason why they got their hair like that. Respectfully, that's the reason why they pants is sagging. That's the reason why they talk the way they talk. That's all the reason, because they've already been tainted and ruined. And once a Black man is tainted and ruined by that environment and by that culture, I really think that 98% of the time he's unsalvageable. He'll never change. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion though. But let me keep going. But I definitely agree with everything the supervillain was saying. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I definitely am aware that you don't have to just look one way to be a threat to women. Carmel Mermaid, did you have something to say?
Yeah, real quick. Not only that, like, to me, and this happened to me during the, like, me in the dating world, I go off for tone because I work at a call center. So, you know, I'll mainly hear tones and pick up on tones and things like that. Like, you could be very monotone, very calm, and I could pick up when you're being condescending within seconds. So I pick up tones. I pick up how a person's cadence. And to me, if your cadence come off, if I hear a red flag in your cadence, in your vocal cadence, I'm turned off. I'm like, yeah, you're not that. Yep, yep. Something about you gives me, you ain't sugar honey iced tea. So I'm gonna end this conversation. I'm just gonna end this conversation because I'm talking to you, and now I'm seeing the Moroccan flag, the Chinese flag, the Peruvian flag. I'm seeing every flag that is red. Every country that has a red flag, I am seeing this. You can hear the mean. You can literally hear the mean. You can hear the meanness in people's voices. When they be like, yeah, I'm not being mean. Yeah, you be like this. No, I can hear the meanness. So you can hear it all. But yeah, as soon as a guy said, hey, what's up? And then as soon as he start talking, yeah, I see nothing. I see nothing but red flags. I'm like, oh, why am I seeing China all of a sudden? Yep, red flag. I'm seeing the Chinese flag. Yep, you're a red flag. Nope, this ain't gonna do. This is not going to do. So Even you can even stop. You can even detect red flags just by just by a person's cadence, and you could like you can stop it soon as they start saying hello. You can like, nope, not it, not it.
All right, all right, all right.
About that.
Okay, all right. I appreciate you, Carmel Mermaid. So let me go down here to Gabrielle.
Yeah, I didn't have much more to say. I just always love to catch these lives, and yeah, I'll just keep listening. And
Oh,
I didn't
okay,
have
okay.
anything to say for right now. Thank you, though.
Oh, no problem, sis. All right. So let me go next to Drizzy. If you had anything to say.
No, yeah, I like that your approach. Like, I think that a lot of times when you're talking about statistics, sometimes people want to focus on whatever doesn't put focus on them. And like you're saying, attack the 50%. 50% of these femicides are from Pookie and Ray Rays and that type of guy. Like, if you avoid them, you lower your chances significantly. And so, yeah, it just seems like, you're giving good game. Um, and that way women can try to choose better and just look at the signs of how sometimes a man might talk to you or how he might approach you. Or like you're saying, the rap music, that's what is his daily mantra, is disrespecting women. He wakes up and that's the first thing that he puts on, and that's setting his mood. And you should be aware that, that is a spell, and he's being indoctrinated by his music. And do you want him to be indoctrinated by something that is going to, have a more of a R&B man? Like he wants to sweet talk you and tell you, or you want him talking down on you. So, and then also I feel like a lot of times, like when you were talking about the kid who got unalived by his white tee girlfriend, and then they were upset that black women didn't want to rise up and do anything for him. But it's like every time that, black men need help, they always come to us. And then they also want to claim that they're the leaders of the community. It's not adding up. Like even when you look at Jeezy, after him and Jenny Mae broke up, and then he sat down, he did that interview with Nia Long, like begging for black women to support him and stuff like that. It's like every single time y'all get caught up in something, y'all want to look to the real leaders of the community. But every time everything is cool and y'all just want to be seen, then y'all want to be in front line and center. But every single time we've let y'all lead, it's always been some nonsense. Even with the Black Panthers, yes, we did a lot of good, but the entire time y'all were DVing those women and y'all were raping those women. So even when we let y'all lead, y'all always make it a caste system. Y'all always try to make it to where somehow the women are beneath y'all, even though they're coming up with all the ideas, they're adding the structure, they're doing most of the stuff, and y'all are taking the profits and y'all are out there philandering and being nasty. So it's like, I just think that women need to choose better, and we need to start being the leaders and figuring out how we're going to have better community amongst ourselves, because we're not going to get it with them, and being in proximity with them is just more dangerous for us. So that's where I'm at, and I love that these conversations are starting to like actually be had, and it's not looked at as we're hating men. Now we're just trying to protect ourselves, survival of the fittest, and what's wrong with protecting yourself?
Yep. I mean, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with everything that you said, Drizzy, for sure. I think everything that you said made sense. And yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say in response to that because I think that what you said was on point for sure. Okay, let me go over here to Kalandra.
Just wanted to say, like, I didn't really have much to add. I kind of already spoke, but I do agree with your points. Also, to black men don't give us grace. When they be in lives every day on my TikTok, I be scrolling through lives. They be telling black men you should go date a white tea woman because they tell us to date white tea women because black women look how they act. They drag single mothers. They drag us every day. So when y'all be out here giving them grace, they don't give y'all grace. And so my thing is, you pygmishas really are the problem because you want to sit up here and say you don't hate men, but calling men out on their things. The problem with this case is black men need to be taught emotional regulation. They need to learn emotional regulations. They need to learn self-control because nothing she should have said wanted her life to be over. Like, what is wrong with y'all? And like I said, women, if you're dating a man who think like that, run, don't walk, run. All of these cases that's going on with Diddy, DVD, if your man say anything, run, because that's how he really feel. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, all right, all right. I appreciate that as well, Calandra, and I definitely think that you made a good point. I think that it is a lack of value placed on the life of the black woman, and also a lower value just placed on respect in black women in general, because black women are told all the time, like, hey, you got to respect men, you got to respect the black man, you're not supposed to talk to a black man like that. Who knows what can happen? But my thing is that you're not told the same thing about black women. Like, if black women started putting y'all in the dirt when y'all cheated on somebody, or when y'all did something wrong, there'd be no black men talking about, oh yeah, that black man should have chosen better. He chose the wrong woman. It's all on him. It's his fault. Yep, it's his fault that he did that. No, they would be outraged. And this lack of empathy that the men in our community have for us as a collective, like I said, I really believe that it is due to years and years and years of black women ignoring all of the traitorous, disloyal things that black men did, and still uplifting them and putting them on a pedestal. And now it is, showing itself as the way we are treated. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And I think that another huge part to this whole puzzle is black women stopping giving them grace and giving them that always that say, oh no, my black men always come back home to us black men. No, they need to come back home to an empty house with no furniture, nothing in it, everybody gone, and they have to sit there by themselves. There's no way black women should still be opening their arms wide for the collective of black men to welcome them back when black men collectively do nothing as far as protection of black women. They don't. And that's really all I had to say, you guys. I'm going to get up out of here. And hey T, I'm gonna come back a little later and talk about something else. But I'll let everybody say something before I get out of here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. Go ahead, supervillain.
Thank you. I just want to piggyback real quick off something Jersey had brought up with the Black Panther Party movement. I think it's very important for Black women to understand, again, their purchasing power, their support power, and how us removing access, removing support can be very detrimental and make huge change. A lot of people don't know that Black Panther Party heavily funded by Black women's wages. So was the civil rights movement. A lot of people don't know Aretha Franklin donated a lot of her wages from the concert she did to the civil rights movement. Even before that, Tulsa, Oklahoma, again, the wages that started the small communities in Greenwood, the businesses, Black women's wages from domestic work. We are constantly, if it's not moral support, it's financial support, it's physical labor. We're supporting movements or men or just organizations that are constantly abusing us. We need to remove our labor, remove our support, remove our finances. Yes, a lot of these organizations did good things, but that's because we were there to do the labor. Had our input not been there, it wouldn't have not gone far. It is us doing the labor, the work, the donations, while they continue to abuse us and take full credit for what's going on. So I think it's very important that we educate ourselves on a lot of the things that happened in the past so we know how to navigate in the future. And real quick, shout out to Carmel because she said, I'm sorry, Trey, that was so funny. She said any red she sees in a flag is a no. The China flag, the Moroccan flag. I thought that was so funny. I just need to give that joke a shout out. So any red you see in a flag, it's a no, ladies. I love Black women. If you don't feel loved, I did not show up on the live today. If you do feel loved, that's me sending it your way. Thank you so much, Trey.
Oh, no problem, sis. No problem, sis. No problem at all. And definitely agree with what you said. And I appreciate all the ladies that came on the panel today and said their thoughts and perspectives. And I just want to say one more time, I feel so terrible that Duchess Dior has lost her life. I really do. I feel terrible about it. It's very sad and hurtful, to see another Black woman that has children, or even if she didn't have children, but in this instance, she had children, just gone because of a man, because of a pointless, senseless act, I think it's actually horrible, you know, and it's every day that I'm seeing things like this. But, you know, it's like we can't control, you know what I'm saying, what the men are doing. All we can do is control our responses and what we do, and we can control our own actions. And that's the reason why I decided to talk about that as opposed to, you know, exactly what occurred. Because like I said, if anybody goes to look up the story and they see this man, you know, if you listen to what all of the ladies said today, you will know that he should have never been a man that was entertained in the first place. And I say that with trying to say it in the nicest way possible. You know, he looked just disgusting and full of filth and criminality and violence. Like it was just written all over him, you know, like I don't know, it was just draped over him like a cape. But anyway, yes, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna come back a little bit later, you guys, with a different topic. It's probably a little bit more controversial than this one, or maybe not. But I'll be back in an hour or two, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I appreciate all of y'all.